Good morning. Welcome to Heart Brewery. I'm here with Mark, the owner. Mark, great spot. What makes you interested in brewing beer?
Well, I love brewing all kinds of beer, but this kind of barrel-aged beer is what I really love doing.
Okay.
These beers are slow. They take about 1 to 3 years to produce.
Really?
Yeah, compared to a normal beer is about 3 weeks.
Wow.
These beers take 3 years.
Why did they take so long?
They go into barrel for 1 to 2 years, and then they go into fruit for 3 months, and they go into bottle for another 9 months. And then they're ready to share.
Okay, so these barrels, these are kind of vintage, are they not? They're from Niagara originally?
Yeah, these are all wine barrels that winemakers down in the Vineland Station area have loved and put great wines into. And when they're ready to retire them, because the oak is not expensive enough for them, it's perfect for us. We consider them, we thank them for breaking in these barrels for us. For like basically softening the oak. Brand new barrels are way too oaky for us, but right now these winemakers have made like this oak. It held great wine and also beautiful oak.
And how long can you hold on to these barrels for then?
Until they fall apart, for centuries if we could.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Tell me a little bit about your background as a brewer.
Yeah, so I've been brewing in Ontario for 12 years now. So I've brewed at a number of breweries, Nickelbrook for Collective Arts, for Bench Brewing Company, and then this one here is just my wife and I.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What made you want to go out on your own?
I think I just come to the point where I really want to focus on this kind of long-aged, laborious beer. And to do this, you need to be really lean, and you need to, have a small staff because it's a chaotic process to do these kind of beers. It takes a long time, and there's a lot of ways in which these beers can go wrong. Okay,
and you're a professor also.
Yeah,
of brewing.
I am, yeah. Professor at the Niagara College Brewery. So I teach recipe formulation, entrepreneurship in beverage alcohol, brewing ingredients, really just about everything, yeah.
Do you ever get the kids to come in here and like intern?
No, I haven't had any interns yet, but definitely a lot of my students do come in here to taste, what I'm making, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, well, coming up, we are actually going to be tasting it, and to do that, we're gonna pull a tiny little nail right out of the barrel, and we're going to be able to see what it looks like in this gorgeous brewery. So there's lots more coming up on Morning Live. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Heart Brewery. Mark is now going to explain in layman terms, please, how we go about the barreling process and the blending process.
Yeah. So normally in a brewery, on the brew day, we'll brew the beer, and then 3 weeks later we have the beer out of tank, in a bottle, and it's ready to drink.
Yeah.
For these beers, we brew the beer, then put them into barrel, where it ferments in barrel, and then ages in barrel for 1 to 2 years, and then we make some choices about how to put that blend together.
Okay.
So in this barrel stock, I've got a lot of different recipes. Some are floral, some are citrusy, some are funky, some are sour, some are oaky. And now I can choose to draw from these kind of flavors what I want to, how I want the flavors to come together. Okay. So if I'm going on to cherries, I'll want some oaky barrels, have a little bit of vanilla, so now I have vanilla in cherries, then a little bit of lime zest kind of tasting barrels, I have vanilla, cherries, and lime zest. I keep building these flavors and layering in complexity into these really nice complex beers that if I was to brew in a month, all I'd get is acidity and fruit. Yeah. And I'd miss out on all this like depth the barrel has for us. Okay, so now how do we taste it? Yeah, there's like tiny little nails in every single barrel. So there's little stainless steel nails. These are called a Vinny nail, named after the brewer Vinny Cilurzo, who came up with the idea to put a nail in a barrel, because if we were to pull from the top of the barrel, like a distiller or a winemaker would, we would oxidize and we would disturb the floor. Exactly. And we would, no one's oxidized. It would change it. It would taste like stale beer. Yeah. So by doing this, we keep the beer nice and fresh. So cool. So let's get a little 1 ounce sample there. And then you just blend it in. All right. And I'll grab one too. Oh, it smells really good. Yeah, so this is going to be component. So even though we'd love it, there's ways we can add more depth and more character to this blend. Do we drink it out of a wine glass traditionally? Yeah, so I like that. So because we're taking a lot of cues from winemakers, and very much we're brewers in the start and we're almost winemakers in the end. We take a lot of so that nice big bowl of the glass gives a lot of aroma off this beer. Yeah, it smells oaky, so fruity, and it's funky. I like funky. It's floral, yeah. Okay, cheers. Cheers. Oh, it's totally beer. I'm like expecting it to taste like wine. Yeah, but it's bone dry as well. Yeah. So there's like 1 gram of sugar per liter here, which puts it on like as dry as the driest wines you find. Oh, I like that about it. And that's why we do this long aging process. So it gets really dry, and then it gets complexity, and then these beers will be shelf stable for 4 or 5 years after that.
That's super
Yeah,
neat.
they'll
So it lasts
age
for
it,
a
yeah.
long time and then continue to age while it's
Exactly,
in the
yeah,
bottle.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, coming up, we're going to be talking a little bit more about the fruit, and I know you've got lots of different colored beers
Yes.
that we're going to
Yeah.
explore. So for now, I'm going to turn things back inside the studio. Cheers.
Cheers.
Mark, fresh fruit is so important. Why is local so much better?
The relationship we have with the farmers, we can ask them to grow from this certain part of the orchard or to hang the fruit longer for us. So what we're looking for is not the fruit you buy from the store. We're looking for that, 3-4 days later when it's ripened in your house and it's
Right.
like soft and it's aromatic.
Yeah.
So we drive to many different farms to find the best fruit around here, and we're lucky we live down this beautiful fruit belt in Niagara, really underpraised. So just, celebrating what Ontario has. All our fruit is Ontario, our barrels are Ontario, our malts are Ontario, our waters are Ontario.
Okay, do you use any kind of syrups or anything like that?
Never, no. We wouldn't get the same profile if we did that.
Okay.
So if we did a syrup, right, an apricot has that beautiful pit in the middle.
Look
And
at you just open it up like no big deal.
so this little pit here,
Yeah.
normally you throw that away,
Yeah.
but this has this almond, marzipan flavor, this depth and complexity to it.
Yeah.
The same as cherries, have this like cinnamon note to them.
So you keep the pits in?
The pits stay in, and it adds this complexity
Interesting.
and we couldn't get with like a syrup or a slurry or a concentrate. We would miss out on that little, you would get the fruitiness and nothing beyond that.
Interesting. Okay, now when you've got beer in a tank, this is kind of the fermentation process, right?
So right now we've got the cherries from this year. Just actually last week we threw 300 kilograms of Montmorency sour cherries from Cherry Lane.
Wow, yes, Cherry
yep.
Lane. Everybody uses Cherry Lane. We
they're-
know them and love them.
They're wonderful people.
Yeah.
So right now, this little thing is bubbling here. It's letting out CO2 as it consumes all the sugars and makes alcohol and carbon dioxide. So I'll grab a little sample from here. A little sample port here.
That's so cool. We're just gonna try a little. I guess
the
you have to
glass.
try it to see if you like it.
Yeah, exactly. We've got to make sure that...
Got to make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. It smells good.
Yeah, so we've got this beautiful, starting to pick up some color, some like blush kind of color. But by the time it's finished, it's going to be really dark red and beautiful.
Really,
Yeah.
almost like a red as a cherry.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow,
yeah.
cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. So a little bit of the acidity from
I
the
like it.
cherries coming in there.
Yeah.
Lots of the fruit notes, that perfume from the fruit. We're not getting the cherry pits yet. It'll be another 3 months on the fruit to get that really nice pit note.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 3 months in here,
Yep.
and then it goes to the barrel.
And no, it comes from the barrel.
Comes from the barrel into the
into here,
fermentation.
and then it'll get bottled, and
Okay.
it'll waste another 9 months in bottle.
Wow. Oh my gosh, the process is fascinating on its own.
I agree.
Just to learn about it.
Yeah.
Okay, coming up, we are going to be checking out some of the bottles and some more flavors of the beer that they offer here at Barrel Heart Brewing. Don't go anywhere. Lots more coming up on Morning Live. Back at Barrel Heart Brewery in Ancaster, you can come and see them in their tap/barrel
Yep.
room house, or you can check them out at some of the local farmers markets that are around here. Why the green bottles, Mark?
So this is kind of a nod to tradition, and it does have a flavor impact. So when the farmers first started bottling their beer,
Yeah.
it was in green glass. And normally in beer, we avoid green glass.
Okay.
The
Yeah, it's
sun-
normally like a amber
yeah,
or
brown
clear.
glass, yeah.
Yeah.
But that sunlight hits the hops and it creates a skunking effect
Oh.
in really hoppy beer. These aren't hoppy beers, and when the sunlight hits these kind of beers, it gets rustic and flinty and all these kinds of like...
I love all your terminology.
Yes.
I've never heard half the words that you're saying.
I know, but they're beautiful like descriptors for, these beautiful complex
true.
beers. Yeah.
And you are actually a little bit of a poet, I hear.
Yeah, I mean, this was a COVID project for us, so
Yeah.
we took up poetry as a bit of a therapeutic, hobby.
Release, yeah, for sure.
And then my wife Elaine convinced me to put the poems in front of the labels.
Well, I think it's really cool because she can attest that it actually describes what the beer tastes like.
Yeah, in very poetic prose. Yeah.
That's super neat. Okay, read one to me.
Okay. So this one here, Farmhouse Near, is our beer de coupage. It's a blend of a young hoppy beer and a really
Okay.
aged barrel.
Okay.
And this was inspired by my walk from a train station up to a farmhouse brewery in Belgium. So it's uphill by green pastures and soft bleating goats, where tractors rumble by with the farmers wave on their slow journey to a farmhouse near.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So that's
Clearly,
beer.
Mark's done some traveling around the world,
I mean, Belgium's kind of our spiritual homeland for these kinds of beers.
I guess.
So we're going to pour a really nice big head.
How
And
come?
this is going to establish a nice rocky foam. We don't want to
Okay.
have a meniscus of beer on top. We want to have a foam, captures all the aromatics, and it looks pretty. It's like that
It does
Simpsons-y
look
kind
pretty.
of like big frothy duff-looking
I
head,
don't know. I always
right?
like remember back in my bartending days when there was like too much head on it. People would be like, "Where's the beer?"
Yeah, no, I mean, like, you know, a lot of
You
places,
want it to look like this.
Yeah.
This is the point.
it should take like 4 to 5 minutes to pour a beer very often.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you stop and then you
Yeah.
pour and you stop and then you pour. Yeah.
So while that one's settling down, we'll also
Yep.
pour some of our raspberry beer.
Oh my goodness, look at the color of that. That's gorgeous. How is that even a beer?
Yeah, so once again, locally grown, beautiful fruit. This one, once again, coming from the Hipple
Oh
family
my gosh,
farm
I
in
can
Beamsville.
smell it.
I know, it's wonderful. So
Oh, it smells so good.
this beer traps the aromatics because it's anaerobic, there's no oxygen, so the aromatics don't stale, they stay fresh. And these cherries were harvested 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
But the aroma is like a fruit stand picked yesterday.
Okay, so it takes years to make each beer, barrels to bottle. You serve it in tumblers and wine glasses. Is there
Yeah.
a specific reason why?
Yeah, so the tumbler is a classic like lambic tumbler. So
Yeah.
in Belgium, these beers, they take so long, but they're served in a very humble way. So that's kind of a nod tradition there. And then we take so many cues from winemakers and the techniques that we serve it in a wine glass, just as a nod to like how we're borrowing from that tradition as well.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's take a sip of this one
Yeah.
because this one looks
Cheers.
really good. Cheers. Oh, that's delicious.
And the acidity of that raspberry, like beautiful raspberry flavor. Underneath, it's all this barrel character working as well.
That is a wonderful summer cocktail.
Absolutely, yeah. And as this beer warms, it'll open up new flavors. Yeah.
It is delicious. Okay, well, thank you so much, Mark, for having us here
thanks for coming.
today. Make sure you check out Heart Brewery here in Ancaster, and you're in farmers markets. Which ones?
Dundas, Ancaster, and Billington.
All right, there you go. Check them out. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Let's try this one now.
Cheers.
Cheers.